Hello, this is Kraig Smyth with MyBizGuide and Disengage from Linear Mindset, where we talk about, disengaging from linear mindset. Easier said than done, right? And this is also where we get into the details of what's actually happening with the human species and the challenges, all of which, of course, lie within. So, today's topic is words and the value of words and names. That's an important one. So that's what got me started on this today. It's a recurring theme when we talk about words and value. One of the things I say a lot of times is that words and money both have two commonalities, is that they don't actually hold value intrinsically. They can only represent it, and they can only represent it to a certain extent, right? So those are both placeholder. They're value placeholders. So, for example, money facilitates trade. I'm definitely not saying anything bad about money. Money's easier to carry around than 50 pounds of dried salmon and a buffalo hide. It facilitates trade, right? But our species needs to be mature enough to understand the limitations of the value, the limitations that can be reflected by words, by money. Money's an easy one to start with because it's easy to say, well, it's easy to trade money for simple goods and things like that, but ultimately money can't reflect the value of food, clean water, clean air, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual wellness, all these kind of things. I'm going to get to that word too, Gina. God and love are two other big words that can. So and sure, I'll use that to translate to transcend into that. Is it some words can absolutely not hold all the value for the ideas that they represent. And a common thing is that people get so stuck on the words that they're handing it out. Love is a common one. They're just using the word, and that's really what this is about, is to understand the value behind the word. So before there was ever a word for anything, there generally a huge, intricate thing of connections, right? Huge ideas and energies and all these things that there's a concept, there's a huge intricate series of concepts, is what I'm trying to say. So we have to keep in mind these concepts and understand that words cannot accurately reflect the value of some of these concepts. And when we get stuck behind the words, that's limiting our abilities to engage in the full spectrum or the full depth of these concepts, right? So love, God are two things that they'll people in contemporary society have a tendency to just use these words and start putting these words around, and they cannot accept the concept without the word. And this is the focal point of this video. Accept the concept without the word. You are not your name. You are your energy. You know your energy. Maybe other people might know your energy, but that is the real you, not the word. The word is just a label. Maybe it's a good name. Maybe you have a awesome traditional name. That's cool. And I'm not speaking about that. I don't have anything to say about that. But the concept remains, in general, words can only reflect so much. Words are just simply a label. Words are like, here's a quick label, so I don't have to go through and every time say, the tall green thing that gives out oxygen and like its feet are in the ground, and we can make things out of it and all that. Tree, you mean a tree, right? Yeah, okay, let's just use that, right? So if I say, whoever name, and also most of us didn't name ourselves anyway, so that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Like, let's draw that boundary, right? Not saying good, not saying bad. Let's just draw the boundary and say, okay, I did not name myself. Okay, I might have a perfectly good name. I might respect that, but I didn't name myself. So into getting to know ourselves and to getting to understand the core of our species, let's get rid of some of these placeholders that are in the way. Mental roadblocks, and words are a huge portion of that. And again, words cannot respect the infinite, or the infinite of, if you use the word God, that there's no way. I mean, that term reflects that there's no way that it can be described. So then to have it relegated to just a word, and then it's kind of thrown out here and there. That's all I'll say about that for now. If you know me, I have more to say about that. I think that word is a disservice to the concept. Same with love, honestly. It just gets thrown about too often. Our species is not mature enough to use these words, right? And lessons from addiction, right? When words are tools, and when tools become overused, they're abused, and they're used in places that they shouldn't be used for, and that's addiction. Same thing. When tools become overused, that's abuse. So what our species needs to do is mature and look at these things more in depth and understand that there's these concepts that go along with the words. So when we're using these words, we have to have the concepts with them. We have to hold the energy with them when we're using these words. So understanding the limitations of words is the goal of this live feed, and especially to get people to think about themselves other than their name. You are not your name. Your name is a word. Your name is a label. It's just a simple label. How many people get stuck behind their name? How many people think they are their name? Really, that's what I'm saying. Because contemporary society has such overwhelming, such an overwhelming supply of scarcity mindset. If that's a twisted mess right there. Scarcity mindset is so prevalent. I'll rephrase that. Scarcity mindset is so prevalent in our society that everything's been super consolidated. Super consolidated. Maybe in the ways of, in the name of efficiency, whatever. But when it's consolidated to the point that it's lost its meaning, then it's a problem. So I just again wanted to say that about getting back to the meaning of things and understanding, and not letting the words get in the way of our growth. So I see a couple comments. I will maybe go into things. Okay, here I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to say, yeah, but okay, so Tam Evans says, I disagree. Love isn't said enough. It isn't explained enough. Okay, first of all, there's never just one thing happening. So what I say, there's a balance also. So there's always many things happening. If this, if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, great. But ultimately, the words cannot reflect the true value. And that's what I'm saying. The words will never be able to reflect the true value. If you can articulate your feelings on deeper subjects enough in your feelings, I feel sorry for you. So that's what I'm saying. Now, when we're talking to, younger people, and yeah, it's a common terminology and the idea is there, yes, but the idea and the ideal is different than the actual thing. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying there, is to not let these huge energies, these huge concepts get subjugated behind a word. So that was the point. Not trying to ride on you, Tam. I appreciate your comment there. So anyway, that's mostly what I want to say. It was a little bit rambling, but thought I'd share. And the most important thing is keeping topics like this out and discussing them. And a lot of times people have different ideas of, what words mean to them, or have classically meant, and all that kind of stuff. But that's all things that our society, that our species really needs to open up these conversations, these personal development, these human development conversations, and compare notes. Really, that's the main thing, is like, if everyone here was like at a round table, and to compare notes, what does this mean to you, and what does this mean to you, and what about this, and what about this, and just have an open conversation, and to think about what we think about, think about how we've developed, and think about how our species is developing, and looking at ourselves more objectively. So that's my goal here. So yeah, thanks, Kraig Smyth, MyBizGuide, Disengage from Linear Mindset. It is absolutely important. Have a good day.